The 9th year of the Hijrah is called the year of deputations, because from all parts of Arabia, deputations came to Al-Madinah to swear allegiance to the Prophet and to hear the Qur'an. The Prophet had become, in fact, the Emperor of Arabia, but his way of life remained as simple as before. The number of the campaigns which he led in person during the last years of his life is 27, in 9 of which there was hard fighting. The number of the expeditions which he had planned and sent out under other leaders is 38. He personally controlled every detail of organization, judged every case, and was accessible to every suppliant. In those years, he destroyed idolatry in Arabia, raised women from the status of chattel to complete legal equality with man, effectually stopped the drunkenness and immorality which had till then disgraced the Arabs, made men to live with faith, sincerity, and honest dealing, transformed tribes who had been for centuries content with ignorance into a people with the greatest thirst for knowledge, and in the first time of history made the universal human brotherhood a fact and principle of common law, and his support and guide in all that work was the Qur'an. In the 10th year of the Hijrah, he went to Mecca as a pilgrim for the last time. His pilgrimage of farewell, it is called. When from Mount Arafat he preached to an enormous throng of pilgrims, he reminded them of all the duties al-Islam enjoined upon them, and they would one day have to meet their Lord, who would judge each one of them according to his work. At the end of the discourse, he asked, "Have I not conveyed the message?" And from that great multitude of men, who a few months or years before had been conscious, had all been conscienceless idolaters, the shout, well, it goes more than idolaters. The shout went up, "O Allah!" Yes, the Prophet said, "O Allah, be thou witness." It was during the last pilgrimage that the surah entitled Saqar was revealed. 110. Or learned, per se, which he received as an announcement of the approaching death. Soon after his return to Al-Madinah, he fell ill. The tidings of his illness caused dismay throughout Arabia and anguish to the folk of Al-Madinah, Mecca, and Taif, the hometowns. At early dawn on the last day of his earthly life, he came out from his room beside the mosque at Al-Madinah and joined the public prayer which Abu Bakr had been leading since his illness, and there was great relief among the people. They supposed him well again. When later in the day the rumor grew that he was dead, Umar threatened those who spread the rumor with dire punishment, declaring it a crime to think that the messenger of Allah could die. He was storming at the people in the strain when Abu Bakr came into the mosque and overheard him. Abu Bakr went to a chamber of his daughter Aisha, where the Prophet lay. Having ascertained the fact and kissed the dead man's forehead, he went back to the mosque. People were still listening to Umar, who was saying that the rumor was a wicked lie, that the Prophet, who was all in all to them, could not be dead. Abu Bakr went to Umar and tried to stop him by a whispered word. Then, finding he would pay no heed, Abu Bakr called to the people, who, recognizing his voice, left Umar and came crowding around him. The first gave praise to Allah and said, "O people, lo, as for him who used to worship Muhammad, Muhammad is dead. But as for him who used to worship Allah, Allah is alive and dieth not." And then he recited the verse of the Qur'an, "And Muhammad is but a messenger, messengers the like of whom have passed away before him. Will it be that, when he dieth or is slain, ye will turn back on your heels? He who turneth back doth no hurt to Allah, and Allah will reward the thankful." All these people's talking about there has to be a living master. No, it's the message lived in the people. That's the important thing. And, says the narrator, an eyewitness, it was as if the people had not known that such a verse had been revealed till Abu Bakr recited it. And another witness tells how Umar used to say directly, "When I heard Abu Bakr recite that verse, my feet were cut from beneath me, and I fell to the ground, for I knew that Allah's messenger was dead. May Allah bless and keep him." All the suwar of the Qur'an have been recorded in writing before the Prophet's death, and many Muslimin had committed the whole Qur'an to memory, but the written suwar were dispersed among the people, and when, in a battle which took place during the Caliphate of Abu Bakr, that is to say, within 2 years of the Prophet's death, a large number of those who knew the whole Qur'an by heart were killed. A collection of the whole Qur'an was made and put into writing. There was actually a bunch of different collections, but they agree in the lettering entirely. In the Caliphate of Uthman, all existing copies of surahs were called in, and an authoritative version based on Abu Bakr's collection and the testimony of those who had the whole Qur'an by heart was compiled exactly in the present form and order, which is regarded as traditional, and as the arrangement of the Prophet himself, the Caliph Uthman and his helpers being comrades of the Holy Prophet and the most devout students of the revelation. The Holy Qur'an has thus been very carefully preserved, and it said that Ali and some of the others, getting rumbling, tumbly, had their own copies. Most people with text had partial text, but if you don't know, Umar and Uthman were not chosen by the people. When the Prophet was on his deathbed, he was asked to appoint a successor, and he said, "They shall be chosen among you," meaning, the believers. And that was the case with Abu Bakr and Ali and his son. But we still got to admit that compared to modern leaders, the arrangement is not easy to understand. Well, it's a lot easier to understand the Arabic because the sound and the flow, because you really can't move a couple out of place with revelations of various dates on different subjects are to be found together in Suwar. Some of the Madinah Suwar, the later revelation, are placed first, and the very early Meccan surahs at the end. But the arrangement is not haphazard, as some have hastily supposed. Closer study will reveal a sequence and significance, as for instance with regard to the placing of the early Meccan surahs at the end, and it's not arranged by largest to smallest at all either. The inspiration of the Prophet progressed from the inmost things to the outward things, whereas most people find their way through outward things to things within. There is another peculiarity which is disconcerting in translation, though it proceeds from one of the beauties of the original, and is unavoidable without abolishing the verse division of great importance. For reference, in Arabic, the verses are divided according to the rhythm of the language. Well, actually, just like the order of the Qur'an, there's the narrations that indicate the verse divisions. When a certain sound which marks the rhythm occurs there is a strong pause, and the verse ends naturally, although the sentence may go on to the next verse or to several subsequent verses. That is of the spirit of the Arabic language, but attempts to reproduce such rhythm in English have the opposite effect to that produced by the Arabic. Here only the division is preserved, the verses being divided as in the Qur'an, out and numbered. There was the people of music. I don't remember the word for music being used. They rendered the Qur'an into a musical scale, but really, either in the preciseness of meaning or otherwise, you really can't imitate the Qur'an. There's a text that I've talked about that imitates the Pickthall translation and the use of Ali translation and some other books, but